Good morning, all. I'm confirming that you can see me and see my deck.
Yeah, looks good. We could use a little more volume before we start real quick. I don't know if that's on our side. That could be on our side. Hang on a second.
I can also scream.
That's perfect. Now we're good.
All right, perfect. Yeah, so thank you all for your time today. My name is Calvin Williams. This is Freeman Capital, where we make building wealth easy. And that's a huge statement because it's very hard. However, it's working. The average user within our platform increases their net worth by 40% within the first year. And speaking of numbers, we are at the pre-seed stage. We should be doing over 115 grand in ARR this year due to our 7,000 free and paying users within our community and platform. The problem that we're looking to do and solve is how to unlock the lack of access, the lack of education, and the lack of tools to make the wealth building process easier. When you look at our typical customer, it's someone like an Imani who is living in a metropolitan, working a good job, but she's not maximizing the financial tools that she has. When she is looking for things financially, she's a first generation wealth builder, can't go to her parents for help, and she finds a bunch of apps that are very transactional. When she wants advice on how to increase her net worth, she ends up in the forums of Reddit, which is not where you want to be. And that's why our solution to this problem is that we are building a robo financial planning platform that is providing wealth journeys that have been designed by certified financial planners that have been proven to increase our customers' net worth. We conducted one of the largest Black private millennial wealth studies, and we surveyed over 4,000 people. And there we learned a lot of things. One, speed to relationship. When folks sign up, they can talk to us as prospects or as customers. They do what feels normal. Set up their profile, connect their accounts, all that is normal. But on the back end is where things get very unique. We tie users to micro personas, and each micro persona has a defined wealth journey. We then can see the items that they're missing, the items in blue, and then look at those actions that they need to do. We then can produce recommendations that month and every month after that would increase their net worth. And doing this, we also couple it with human financial planners that they can schedule Monday through Friday. And because we focus on gaps and closing them, Imani, as a woman, we want to make sure she's not falling victim to the gender pay gap. So early on in her wealth journey, we will check her salary, see if she is, and then make recommendations on how to talk to her manager or financially prepare to get a new job. We are the first firm in this way providing comprehensive financial planning one-on-one at scale. And that's how we've been helping our customers grow and build their wealth. You know, the big difference for us is where these recommendations are coming from. Most firms who do financial planning are prompting users to get on the phone and talk to humans to get recommendations. With our personas and wealth journeys, our platform can provide the recommendations, and then our humans are there for providing fringe support on cases the questions that come up, and handling fringe cases that we haven't coded yet. And that is really important because that's how we handle and solve the financial planning scaling problem. Most of our competition has a ratio of 75 clients to one planner. We are at 400 clients to one planner right now, and we're on path to get to 1,001 by the end of this year due to increasing our automation for onboarding and within our wealth journeys. When you look at our market, it's of course massive when it comes to all of financial services, but narrowing in on providing financial planning to an underserved demographic, our first being the Black consumer, there's over 22 billion in potential revenue there. And we are the first SEC registered automated financial planning firm who is targeted and focused on this demographic. The way that we generate revenue is three ways. One, off of subscriptions, where the average subscription is $50 per month, then off of asset management fees, and then thirdly, commissions on products that we sell or refer in our marketplace. Lead gen, like how we do for insurance and soon mortgages and more. This layering of revenue is why our three-year lifetime value is over $2,300. But the really powerful thing is due to our 98% paid user retention rate, we're able to recover our B2C CAC within 4 to 5 months. Now, we really only launched B2C to validate our product, market, and customer. We scale up and grow through B2b partnerships. That's where we have partnerships signed and launching with banks, financial institutions who will either white label our service or provide distribution for us, and we share a quarter of the ongoing revenue with that partner. That's how we have over 400,000 people that we'll be tapping into starting in about 3 weeks, going into January, and we have over 104 partners lined up to work with us next year. And capitalizing on that B2B play is how we get to 1.1 million in revenue by the end of next year, and then over 27 million by 3 years, and then over 100 million within 5 years. All of what you've heard is how we've gotten to the growth that I showed you in the beginning. But if you can only remember 2 key numbers, here they are. The fact that we've had 98% paid user retention rate for 12 months with a net promoter score of 70. So they're signing up, loving it, promoting it, and building their wealth. Myself, I was recruited at 17 by the Department of Defense to build top secret computer programs. Went on to be one of the youngest directors at Lincoln Financial. And the rest of my team has over 70 years of combined experience in client-facing wealth management, technology, and marketing. We are in the middle of a 1.5 million raise, which I can talk about in Q&A. But in all, we are working to close the wealth gap by taking what we've done for many, do it for millions, because we are Freeman Capital, and wealth starts here. Thank you.
Panelists, if you want to go ahead and introduce myself.
Yeah.
Ladies first. You're so gracious. Hi, Calvin. Good to see you again. It's been great to see your journey over the last, like 4 years now. A couple of questions. So, if I read the last slide correctly, you have 360 paid users, or are you just up 360 paid users?
So yeah, so we have just under 400 since we launched this product in March of last year. And we did that for a private beta where folks could not sign up on their own. And now we are changing that, and folks can now sign up on their own starting this month.
Awesome. Any indication of that 7,000 total users, those free users, how many you'll be able to convert over to paid, and how are you going to do that?
So it's actually not our focus to do that. The reason why we built up this free base was because we provide all of the marketing collateral to our B2B partners. We basically tested the messaging and marketing to find out what personas respond to what messaging. And now we hand that over to our banking partners and our financial institution partners who take that same content and roll it out to their audience, which is what one of our partners is doing, where they are sharing it with their 5,000 leads per month that they are sending our way.
Oh, I'm sorry, one more question. Okay, so if that's your strategy, if you're a person like me, I dislike institutions and their financial planners, so how do you plan on getting more folks to be open to those services from their institutions?
Great question. So one, you're probably doing a bit better than most of our clients, so you're not exactly our target market. But the folks that we're targeting in terms of the B2B play are also influencers. So you have a financial educator who has a online community of 100,000 people. They sell a course. At the end of that course, they then partner with Freeman to send clients that have completed their Instagram course to us, and then we then extend the lifetime value of that influencer's audience. So we're working up and down that scale with influencers, institution, and banks, and then that's what we are targeting specifically.
Awesome.
Hey, Calvin. Good pitch. I had some basic questions, and then one to build off of what Shantae was talking about. So I was trying to follow along, but I haven't had enough coffee yet. So your CAC calculation is based on the little less than 300 or 400 only then users. I was trying to follow that math, and I was curious what the actual CAC is at the individual unit economic level, like one customer. What's the conversion cost?
Yeah, so the way that we built that CAC is based off of the conversion of one customer. And so what we did was that we took the initial 7,000 folks, we looked at the conversion rate and then the cost to get them, and then we came to that CAC, which is $250 per user.
Okay, so 250 is what that CAC number is.
Correct.
Okay. All right, that's good. That's helpful. I think just in the spirit of kind of looking at the pitch, I think that's that number is, and even maybe additional analytics on that number, because you guys are obviously converting people, so I'm good. I'm sure the math is good and it's a good number. When you talk about the use of proceeds associated with the raise, for you guys, you got a baked product, it's working, things are going well. I'm going to presume that a big chunk of the $1.5 million is probably going to customer acquisition. Maybe some of it's going to platform technology and build out as well too. That makes sense. But for me, I always like to see, and I know you got very limited time here, but maybe slide in one slide, even in a quick pitch, about how you're going to use those proceeds, $1.5 million, because my tendency is to think generally that it's easy for founders to underestimate cost of customer acquisition. And if a big chunk of that $1.5 million is going to customer, I'd just like to see a little bit more detail on the breakdown. But I know you got the math, and so it's right.
Yeah, so we actually had that on the slide where we talked about the raise of 1.5 million, but to go into a little bit more detail, we have seen that our acquisition costs are lower than the industry average. You look at LinkedIn, the average cost to get a lead is $52 per lead. We currently are around 21 to $22 per lead due to the targeting and the demographic and the branding that we're doing. So it was there on the 1.5 million slide, but I'm happy to expand on that in a future pitch or of course in Q&A.
Yeah, no, that's good. I just think from an investor standpoint, some of that data is really useful.
That's great to hear. Definitely.
The other thing I would say too is, my guess is that there's some pretty secret sauce around the personas in the wealth journey, just kind of whether that's, the way those paths are drawn out and part of the market research that you've done. Hey, what's up, buddy? I think it would be cool to see, as much as you can, a little bit more on that. It's probably also in a longer pitch, but, just the simple, kind of thinking around that is that you guys are engaged with customers at a level that are going to allow you to define and understand those paths in a very, very unique way, and kind of talking to the investor about how that was developed, what that methodology is. Maybe there's even some proper kind of scientific and survey thinking around that. I think that's pretty secret sauce in this model in particular, and so I'd like to hear a little bit more about that and maybe a longer pitch as well too.
That's a great point of feedback. Thank you.
You can get, you want to do audience or?
Yeah. So a couple questions came in on the chat. One of them is, cool idea, how are you helping to fix the idea that people still make bad spending decisions in the moment that are counter to goals, recommendations, and plans?
I'm not sure he can hear you.
Sorry. How are you helping to fix the idea that people still make bad spending decisions in the moment that are counter to their goals or recommendations?
Great point. So in conjunction with the Duke Common Sense Behavior Science Lab, they have helped us to put more behavior science into the actual application. So what we're doing is that we are building a platform where we can identify spending patterns. And of course, we can't do it at the point of sale, but we can do it soon after, and then do a new type of therapy called financial therapy, where we can prompt the questions around why did you make this spend, what's going on in your life, how to help you work through your spending in this, this category. So there's a lot of research that we have done in the past 6 to 8 months with our Duke Common Sense Research Lab to help add in the behavior modification to help people stay on a path to build wealth. It's a longer answer, but I can speak to it probably after this session.
Hey,
Definitely should highlight that.
Yeah, I was going to say, Calvin, I think it's really important. Wearing my marketing hat. Obviously, you know this space way better than any of us, but you're talking about behavioral science stuff. You're talking about paths and journeys and personas. This kind of knowledge and understanding engagement at the customer level is absolutely fantastic. I hate the term robo-investing or robo-planning. I hate those markets all front and all of them. I just don't, and to me, if you're down to the behavioral science level of what your customers need to do and are holding your hand through the planning process, I would personally run away from that term. I think that term is very transactional. It's very low value. You guys are obviously doing something much deeper and more engaging with customers. So I know it's a market term and you got industry and probably search terms and all sorts of crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
So you got to worry about to get that done. But if you're pitching, man, you're anything but robo, in my opinion, which I think is really good, especially for this demographic, because education is a huge part of it. So anyway, that's just my 2 cents.
No, I thank you for that, and I will look at that. It's tough because because we're doing something new in financial planning, folks are always trying to connect this to something old. But we'll try and thread that needle better.
All right, with that, we're going to move on to the next company. Thanks, Calvin.
Thank you.